Hello.
Right. So same as usual, working at your own pace, making sure that nothing is causing pain or discomfort in the joint, setting a rest whenever you need the rest, starting again when you're ready to do so. If you're seated, see if you can create that space at the front of the body. So encouraging a little bit more space through the diaphragm into the belly so that the diaphragm can move freely, and then allow a better, more relaxed breath. The arms relaxing down the side, the shoulders, the neck, and it's nice and loose. If you're laying down, keeping the legs straight or bent, whatever feels more comfortable. Adjusting the position of the head, using a little support underneath the head if you need one. And then focusing on the breath. See if you can find that nice, relaxed, the belly breath, feeling the belly expanding with the inhalation and relaxing with the exhalation. Noticing if there is any tension anywhere within the body. So I might find that my shoulders are quite tense, so they're almost like a shrugging up. See if I can encourage the shoulders to relax, and the neck to relax, and the jaw to relax. I might find that I tend to stiffen up through the back, and see if I can encourage the lower back and the upper back to relax a little bit more. And then as I feel the body's a little bit more settled, then I'm going to start focusing on the neck. I'm going to start off with a little side to side. So I'm just going to try to bring the right ear down to the right shoulder, back to the center, and then left ear to the left shoulder. Without forcing the movement, to just noticing how far I can go when I move to the right, how far when I go to the left, and noticing if there is anything pinching slightly or any restriction. I might find that as I go one way feels easy. As I drop the other, maybe a little bit stiffer. I can feel that my chin drops down on one side. I can feel that the chin lifts on the other side. So see if I can try and relax a little bit more. If I feel the movement starts feeling a little bit easier, so it doesn't feel so stiff, it doesn't feel so hard as it was at the beginning, then I might try to encourage a little bit more of a stretch. So as the right ear drops down to the right shoulder, I'm going to try and press the left shoulder, so the opposite shoulder down and away. So see if I can create a little bit more traction down the left side of the neck. Then as I bring the left ear to the left shoulder, I'm going to press my right shoulder down and away. See if I can create a little bit more traction down the right side of the neck. And then easing back. So one side. And releasing. Other side. And releasing. Two more. Last one. And releasing back. Then changing the direction, I'm going to try and see if I can lengthen from the base of the skull, from the top of the neck. So I'm going to tuck the chin down to the chest. So I'm just going to go for a little skull rock. See if I can try and think of pulling the base of the skull away from the neck. If I'm sitting up, I might use the hands wrapped around the head to try and pull the back of the head away from the neck. See if I can create a little stretch down the back of the neck. There's no pain, no discomfort. If I'm lying down exactly the same, I'm just going to scoop the hands around the top of the head, and then as I tilt the chin and then lengthen through, I might start lifting the head off the mat to see if I can create a gentle stretch down into the back of the neck. I'm just going to hold it steady. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release and down. Giving the head a gentle roll, making sure that the neck doesn't feel too stiff, too tight. And then I'm going to see if I can start moving forward and back now. So I'm going to get into a little skull rock. So pressing the back of the neck down towards the mat. Then I'm going to try and lift the chin and then open up the front of the throat. So I'm going to try and tuck in and then open up. So if I'm lying down, I'm going to keep the head on the floor, on the mat. If I'm seated up, see if you can create a little tension at the front of the throat, stretching down the front of the throat, and a little tension at the back of the neck, stretching down the back of the neck. So I'm going to try and look up, and then I'm going to try and look down. 3, 2, last one. And releasing back again, returning the head back to the middle, turning the head to look over the right shoulder, and then just holding it there. As you're looking over the right shoulder, imagine to be pressing the left shoulder back. So if I'm sitting up, I'm going to try and push the left shoulder to the wall behind to see if I can encourage a little bit more stretch. If I'm lying down, I'm going to try and press the back of the left shoulder down into the floor, and then holding the head to the right. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and releasing back. Then I'm going to turn to look over the left shoulder, allowing the neck of the head to settle, and then pressing the back of the right shoulder back. See if I can encourage a little bit more opening across the right side of the chest and the neck. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and releasing back. Returning the head back to the middle, giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll. Hopefully the neck feels a little bit warmer, a little bit looser. I'm going to try and get into the shoulder girdle and middle of the back. I'm going to start off with a little protraction, retraction. So I'm going to start protracting, pulling the shoulders forward as if I was trying to bring the shoulders together at the front, and then retracting, squeezing the shoulder blades together behind as if I was trying to hide them at the back. So I'm going to pull them forward and then push them back, pull them forward and then push them back. As you keep the movement going, see if you can, as well as feeling the shoulder girdle moving forward and back, encourage movement into the thoracic spine, into the upper back. So as the shoulders draw back, I'm going to try and lift and push the chest forward. So if I'm lying down, I'm trying to lift the back of the ribcage off the mat. And then as I protract, I'm just going to push the back of the ribcage into the mat. So I'm going to try and flex slightly. So I'm going to extend, retract the shoulders, and then flex, protract them. Extend, retract, and flex, protract. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, and giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll, relaxing the shoulders, releasing the upper body. And then I'm going to try and see if I can change the direction of the movement. From flexion extension, I'm going to go into a little rotation. So reaching the arms to the front, clasping the hands together or keeping the hands apart. I'm just going to start to swing the arms gently from right to left, right to left. And then keeping the movement going, see if you can, same as you did for the flexion extension, trying to loosen up, release any stiffness from the middle of the back, or from the upper back, or from the thoracic spine. So see if I can try and unlock some of the tension, see if I can ease some of the tension off of the upper back. So rolling over one shoulder if I'm lying down on the back, or rolling over onto the other. If I'm sitting up, taking advantage that there is nothing behind me to stop me moving. So see if I can try and turn as far around as I can, coming back as far around as I can the other way. And then comparing the two sides as well. So how far can I turn when I go to the right? How far can I turn when I go to the left? How easy, how hard does it feel when I go one way, when I go the other? 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release it back, returning the shoulders back to the middle, relaxing the shoulders. Then from rotation, I'm going to change the direction one more time, going into a little lateral flexion. So if I'm laying down, I might want to support the head. So I'm taking the head with me, the neck doesn't get strained. If I'm sitting up, I don't need to support the head as the head is on top of the shoulders. I'm going to start reaching with the right arm down the side, flexing to the right. Then coming back to the center, I'm going to reach with the left arm down the left side, flexing to the left, and then coming back to center. Same as you did for extension and rotation. So if you can picture the movement happening in your thoracic spine. So especially if I'm seated up, the tendency is to start leaning forward. So if you can imagine a wall behind you or the back of your chair, imagine your shoulders to be on the wall. Can I try and keep the shoulders on the wall as I move to the right? Can I try and keep them on the wall as I move to the left? If I'm laying down, I've got the floor to guide the movement. It's just making sure that I can feel the shoulders at even distance away from the ground. It doesn't feel as if I'm rotating. It doesn't feel as if I'm lifting one further than the other. So just moving side to center, side to center. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. And releasing back. Again, bringing the body back to the middle. The upper back should be feeling a little bit looser. What I want is, again, to encourage a little bit more movement, but trying to get the arms a little bit more involved. So I'm going to reach the arms to the front. Same as before. And then imagine to have pencils on your fingers. I'm going to start drawing a circle on the wall or on the ceiling in front of me if I'm lying down. I'm going to start off with a little circle and then see if I can progressively exaggerate the movement and making it bigger. So as you try to exaggerate the movement, see if you can think of movement into the back too. So as I open up the circle, I can feel the back extending, I can feel it rotating, I can feel it flexing, I can feel it lateral flexion. So I can feel that the shoulders are traveling around, I can feel that the rib cage is moving as well as the arms. I'm going to reverse the circles. I'm going to circle around the other way. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing back, releasing the shoulders, releasing the back. It's a little bit more movement at the top. I'm going to try and see if I can get a little bit more, but working from the hips and up. So I'm going to start off with a little pelvic tilt. So I'm going to start rocking forward and back. So I'm going to tuck the tailbone under. I'm going to roll onto the back of my seat bones. I'm going to press the lower back into the mat, around in the lower back. And then I'm just going to try and rock my way back into neutral. So I'm going to tilt the pelvis, so rock it back, and then forward back into neutral. So if I'm seated, imagine to be rolling onto the back of your seat bones, so towards the tailbone. So I'm going to try and kind of like slouch on the chair. And then I'm going to try and see if I can pick myself up or trying to sit nice and tall over the seat bones. If I'm laying down, I'm just going to try and focus on the space between my lower back and the mat. I'm going to tilt the pelvis, pressing it down into the ground, and then lifting it back into neutral. I'm going to tilt it back and then back into neutral. So imagine you have a little ball, a marble balancing in the center of the belly. I'm going to try and roll it towards my belly button and then trying to bring it back towards the pubic bone. Roll it towards the belly button and then back down towards the pubic bone. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, readjusting the hips, readjusting the pelvis, and then from front to back, I'm going to go for a little side to side. So I'm going to try and hitch the right hip up towards the right side of the rib cage, coming back to the center, left to the left. So right to the right, left to the left. And then same as I did for the front to back, so I can feel the hips are moving side to side gently. See if I can loosen up again, see if I can ease off with some of the tension from the very bottom of the spine. If I'm seated up, same as usual, imagine to be lifting one seat bone slightly off the chest. I'm going to try and hitch my right hip up, drop it back, hitch that left hip up, and then drop it back. Using the arms to offer a little support if I need to, pushing down through the feet to slightly if I needed that little help. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Again, adjusting the hips, resetting the pelvis back to the center. I'm going to see if I can try and add a little bit of movement, but adding the leg. So if you're lying down, I want you to try and hug the knee into the right knee into the chest. So one leg up and towards you. If I'm seated up, if I can, I'm going to use the band and then see if I can pull the leg towards me. If I can't do that, I'm going to try and see if I can drop myself down or drop myself forward and then see if I can try and encourage a little bit more stretch down the bottom of the spine. So I'm just going to try and lean forward into the legs. So if I'm laying down, I'm going to try and hug the right knee and then pick up the left knee, hug them into the chest, maybe a little bit of a rocking movement to see if I can ease some of the tension of the lower back, a little side to side. If I'm sitting up, I'm just going to try and gradually let gravity pull me down, using the arms at the front to offer support so it doesn't feel as if I'm going to fall forward. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and easing back. So I'm going to drop the feet down, straighten myself up if I was going forward into the flexion. Hopefully a little bit more movement down the bottom of the spine. I'm going to see if I can start moving the leg a little bit more. So staying with a single leg, I'm going to start off with a little knee lift. So I'm going to try and pick up the right leg and then putting it back down. I'm going to repeat on the same side. So if you need to use the strap around the leg, I'm just going to set the strap behind the right leg, and then I'm going to use my arms to help me move the leg. So same as usual, it doesn't matter if I can't move the leg very much, if it feels very stiff or very heavy, if I don't have control of it, just to see if I can, using the strength of the arms to help me ease a little bit of stiffness, a little bit of a tension of the hip joint. So picturing the top of the leg, the head of the femur, just gliding gently into the hip socket. So see if I can try and, almost as if I was trying to clear the space inside the hip socket, just trying to allow the two bones to glide over each other's. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing down. Keeping the movement on the right side. This time, instead of trying to go up into a knee lift, I'm going to try and see if I can go into a knee drop. So I'm going to start opening the right knee, the right leg out to the right, and then bringing it back to center. Opening the right leg out to the right, and then bringing it back to center. So still working on the right hip, but see if I can this time, trying to encourage movement in and out, so sideways movement. So again, I could use my hands to push the leg out and then bring the leg back in if I need to, just to see if I can ease again a little bit more tension of the hip of the leg. 5, 4, hips are nice and still. 3, 2, last one. And then again, returning the leg back to the middle, allowing the hip a little rest. Right hip feels a little bit warmer. I'm going to try and see if I can try one more time, but this time I'm going to try and see if I can move in more like a circular movement. It doesn't matter if it's a perfect circle or if an oval, just to see if I can try and use all of the range into the hip joint. So I'm going to put the strap around the right leg again if I needed the strap, and then I'm going to start drawing a little circle with the right knee. So I'm just going to start going round and round with that knee. So see if I can feel that leg moving into the hip socket, not just up and down, not just side to side, but in all possible directions. Hopefully, obviously, if I'm sitting, I'm a little bit limited as I can't move the leg very far as there is floor preventing me to do so. If I'm laying down, I can make the circle really big if the hip is happy to do so. Just making sure that it's not grinding, it's not creating pain. 3, 2, 1. Reversing the circles, going the other way for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Relaxing the right leg, I'm going to try exactly the same, but working on that left hip. So keeping the right leg extended, bend it, whatever feels easier. I'm going to focus on the left side. I'm going to put the strap around the back of that leg if I need the strap. And then I'm just going to start off with a little knee lift. So I'm going to try and pick up the leg, and then I'm just going to put it back. So again, see if I can think of that up and down movement, that forward and back movement, and trying to ease some of the tension, some of the stiffness of that hip socket. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and relaxing the leg, releasing the hip, and then from up and down, I'm going to go side to side or in and out. So going for the little knee drop. So I'm going to start opening that left knee out to the left, and then I'm going to bring it back to center again. So see if I can get that movement to sideways and back in again. Using the arms to help me encourage the movement through the leg, through the hip. If I'm laying down, trying to keep the hips, trying to keep the pelvis still, just the leg moving into the hip socket, however small the movement is. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and release and back. Again, relaxing the hip, releasing the leg, and then I'm going to try and see if I can get into the circle. So I'm going to replace the band around the back of the leg if I need that support there, using the arms if I want to, using the hands if I want to. And then I'm just going to start to draw in that little circle with that left knee in front of me. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to reverse the circle, going the other way, having a little rest if I need one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And releasing back, relaxing the hip, releasing the leg. So a little bit more movement into the hip joint. I'm going to try and see if I can add a little bit of resistance to the upper body and then the legs. So I'm going to grab a hold of my pillow, grab a hold of the ball. And then I'm going to hold the ball, hold the pillow between the hands as if I was trying to clap my hands. So not that way, that is going to start putting pressure into the wrist, but that way, where the hand and the wrist, the hand and the forearms are in line. So I'm going to press the palms into the ball, and then I'm just going to try and squeeze the ball and then release. As you're squeezing the ball, see if you can keep the elbows close to the side. So I'm going to try and tuck them to the side of the ribcage, to the side of the body. And then as you're pressing into the ball and tucking the elbows in at the same time, see if you can be aware of tension across the front of the chest, but also right behind the armpit, right behind the shoulder, in the middle of the back. So it's the pectoral muscles at the front of the chest, and then the lats muscles at the back of the shoulder. So see if I can create that little pressure, the little squeeze, and then I'm going to release. And just notice if front of the chest and back of the shoulder, they don't work very well, the tendency is to start shrugging the shoulders up to the head. So I can feel my shoulders going up every time that I press the ball or that I press the pillow. So if you can think of the shoulders keeping down, the neck is staying nice and long, nice and loose. 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, I'm going to hold the pressure. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Pressing a little bit harder. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and releasing back, giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll. And then I'm just going to get the arms moving. Both arms, I'm going to start opening them out to the side. I'm going to come round the side and then up towards the head. And then I'm just going to reverse and come back. So think of a little snow angel. So I'm going to try and open out and then come back. Trying to go as wide as possible, unless there is a pain in the shoulders or tension into the neck, in which case I'm just going to allow the arms to come slightly forward to the body line. So I'm going to make my swing a little bit smaller to see if I can try and keep the neck relaxed. I'm making sure that I'm not creating pain in the shoulder. 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, relaxing the shoulders, releasing the arms. And then I'm just going to change the focus down into the legs. So this time I'm going to put the ball of the pillow between the knees, between the inner thighs, and then shuffling the feet maybe a little bit closer together. I'm going to start the pressing into the ball. So same as I did with the hands, this time I'm going to try and squeeze the knees into the ball. See if I can get a little tension going through the inside of the leg. But at the same time, see if I can be aware of a little tension into the side of the hip as well. And then I'm just going to ease the pressure. So I'm going to try and squeeze and release. And then same as usual, same as you did for the upper body, making sure that both sides are trying to take part into the squeeze. So I might find that my left side is a little bit weaker, so I tend to squeeze mostly with my right side. I'm just going to try and focus on that left side a little bit more, and then see if I can get a little bit more response, using the hand to guide the leg as well, if I feel that I need a little extra help, and then releasing. 6, 7, 8, 9. Last one, I'm going to press and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Squeezing a little bit harder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and release. Releasing the legs and relaxing the inner thighs. There's a little bit more movement, a little bit more connection to the inside of the thigh. I'm going to try and see if I can give it a little release, a little stretch. So I'm going to keep the feet nice and close together, and then letting the knees open out and away from each other, using the hands if I'm seated to help me get the knees a little bit further apart, to see if I can get a little stretch going through the inside of the leg, from the groin up towards the inside of the knee. And then once that you feel that the legs are settled, so the back feels okay, the hip is okay, so nothing seems to be pinching or catching, I'm going to put the hands on the inside of the legs. And then at the same time, with the hands, I'm going to hold the legs. With the legs, I'm going to try and squeeze gently back in again. So I'm going to hold that tension for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, I'm going to stop pushing with the legs, keep pushing with the arms. See if the legs want to open up just a little bit more. I'm going to try one more time. Same. I'm going to hold the legs with the arms, and then I'm going to try and squeeze the knees together gently. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, relaxing the legs, you keep pushing with the arms. See if the legs want to open up just a little bit more. And then releasing back, returning the legs back to the middle, giving the legs a little shake, relaxing the hip, relaxing the inner thigh. Just a little bit more movement there. I'm going to change the effort. This time I want a little front to back effort. So I'm going to grab hold of my pillow, my ball, You can use the hand against the leg, it doesn't really matter. It's just a little focus. I'm going to put the ball on top of the right thigh. So I could keep the foot on the ground. If I'm laying down, I could lift the leg up if I've got the strength to hold it up. And then I'm just going to set the ball between the right thigh and the right hand. And then what I want is to try and push the leg into the ball and the hand into the ball. So I'm going to try and squeeze the ball between the two. So see if you can think of a tension that goes down the arm, through the armpit, down the side of the belly, into the front of the hip, round into the leg. So almost like a round tension that from the hand goes round through the arm, into the body, down the leg, into the knee, back into the ball. I'm going to release that tension, and then I'm going to press again. 2, ease the tension, and then press again. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Last one, hold the tension. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and release. Relaxing the arm, relaxing the leg. I'm going to try the same thing, but working around that left side. So I'm going to place the pillow, the ball, or the hand onto that left thigh. So left hand presses down into the ball. The left leg is trying to push up into the ball. So see if I can squeeze it between my thigh and my hand. And then I'm just going to ease the pressure. And then again, I'm going to press. And then ease the pressure again. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Last one, I'm going to squeeze and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and release. Relaxing the leg, releasing the arm, and then I'm just going to try and work a little bit in reverse. So pushing the ball to one side, I'm going to set the feet at a good distance, comfortable distance, so the knees are bent. I'm going to squeeze with the back of the bum, and then I'm going to start driving the hips up. So coming up into bridge. So if I'm sitting down, I'm trying to picture the hips lifting off the chest as if I was trying to come off the chair, and then I'm just going to ease my way back. So see if I can try and get the tension through the back of the hips, through the back of the bum, trying to create that little squeeze, that little lift. If I'm lying down, I'm going to start off with a little squeeze to see if I can get just the hips to maybe pull away from the ground, and the back of the bum is connected. Easing back, I'm going to try and squeeze maybe a little bit higher, see if I can get my lower back to lift too. And then coming down, see if I can maybe go a little bit more, squeezing the back of the hips to the lower back and the back of the rib cage, trying to get that nice opening at the front of the hips. And then I'm going to ease back. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Last one. 10. And releasing back. Giving the legs a little walk, a little shake. If I'm lying down, I might want to hug the knees into the chest, stretching the back of the hips, stretching the lower back. Maybe a few circles to massage the hips or to relax the back. If I'm seated up, same as before, I can lean forward to create a little stretch into the back. I can try and pull the leg gently towards me to stretch one side and then to stretch the other. Then when you're ready, rolling over onto one side and in your own time, pushing yourself up into sitting, finding your comfortable seated position. So position for the legs where I can sit reasonably upright. If I struggle to get the upright position, so I feel I'm leaning backwards, I'm going to fall back, I'm just going to use the arms, or maybe leaning against the sofa, against the wall to get a little support at the back. So once that I feel that the hips, so that the back is set, then see if I can try and see if I can encourage a nice lift at the front. So I'm going to try and pull the breastbone away from the pubic bone. I'm going to try and lift it through the front of the chest. I'm going to try and push the chest up and towards the ceiling, looking forward, looking up, looking back, opening up the front of the body, and then releasing. I'm going to reverse. I'm going to close the front of the body, opening up the back. And then again, I'm going to open up at the front, lifting the breastbone, lengthening through the belly, lifting through the chin, looking forward, looking up, looking back. And then release and coming forward, rounding yourself forward, stretching gently into the back. Last time, see if I can create as much space as possible at the front, looking forward, looking up, looking back. And then release and coming forward, one hand to the belly, one hand to the back. Take a bow, give yourself a couple. Any question or anything as usual, please say. Remember, you need to unmute yourself